Now, a couple of years ago, I would have thought, oh wow, this is great. This is so exciting, all this focus on activism. But not so much right now. I'm not thinking about that. And perhaps it's because I'm kind of in a dark moment in terms of world politics, activism. And it's also, I think, partly because a lot of my research I've been doing the last couple of years, I've been really kind of living in the 18th and 19th century, focusing about colonization and racial violence in Southern California. So as I read these books, I mean, that's what I'm bringing to these books as a reader, but as I read them, the following things occurred to me. First thing I thought about is about immigrants and refugees, that the mobility that we're talking about is really a matter, in most cases, of survival that we are talking about in this day and age. And people are fighting for the right simply to be. And I remember using that, the first time I thought about that language, to the right to be, was Don Mitchell talking about in terms of homelessness, when they're not allowed to sleep anywhere, they're not allowed to pee anywhere. I mean, they cannot be, right? And I think that's one of the things that we're talking about today in terms of immigration, just the right to be, to exist, to eat, to be reunited with one's family, to exist without terror. And I immediately saw parallels with native dispossession and slavery, because that's where my mind is these days. And I'm not saying that these are the same things, because they're not the same thing. I'm actually very deeply committed to untangling distinct processes and thinking about different kinds of structures and ideologies that produce particular forms of human domination and oppression. But what I saw in common was people's desire and struggle simply to survive, to exist. The second reaction I had was to recognize the vast machinery arrayed against immigrants. And we can see this in terms of individual countries and what they have set up. We can see this in regional associations, such as like NAFTA or the EU. We see this in ideas of citizenship, something that Harold talks quite a bit about. We can see it in the wall that Trump talks about. We can see how easily, within this one past year, how Mexicans once again became murderers, rapists, and thieves, right? And I think about immigrant resistance that is being talked about sometimes. I have to say, I think about them as little drops in the bucket. When we think about the vast structures that they're up against. And maybe a family or community has a particular victory. These are something a lot that Perpalo and Sutapa ring about in their books. But I think about the millions who are confronting the same struggle on a daily basis. And while I certainly believe in the importance and the value of reporting and analyzing resistance movements, I was kind of a little bit frustrated with the presentist nature of both books. Now that's not a criticism, because no book can be everything, right? I take that more as a point of entry to begin introducing and thinking about a much larger time frame in which to situate these issues, these struggles, and these forms of oppression. Because I don't think we can understand the efficacy of resistance in a short-term time frame, particularly around these issues. They are so historically deep.